How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, welcome back to Muv-Luv Monday, and welcome to our new studio again. It's been an interesting month, let's just say that. But this should be the last change we should expect. So again, if I'm having any issues, if the audio sounds weird and I don't have an explanation for it like last time, or whatever, that's just kind of what it is now. I'm trying out some new stuff, but hopefully the lighting's good too. It looks pretty good to me, so hopefully we'll be all set with that. But long story short, unexpectedly, we've had the pleasure, really, of having my brother-in-law coming to live with us. He's younger, like 15, 16, but there's just a tough situation at home, and we wanted to provide a safe place, you know. And it's not like it's very complicated, and I'm not going to get into the details, but just that's the kind of an FYI. But having someone new in the home, we needed to make sure that he had a place to stay and like their own private area. So like that, I decided to give up my studio. So I have these like cloth partitions, and I blocked off a section of the basement, and I'm just trying to make this my new studio. So here we are. But you know, it's all for a good cause, and I'm quite happy with it. So again, just let me know if there's anything odd about the sound quality or anything. Heck, maybe if I pulled this off right, I might have better sound quality now. I don't know, but we will have to see. So let's jump right into it. Last time was freaking an insane episode. Like, it was really kind of like forcing Asumi to face like her own weakness, like truly. Like, Marimo had pointed out some of her flaws before, but she didn't really address them yet. She just kind of acknowledged that she needed to be better, and she was able to cultivate a better relationship with her squad mates. But it wasn't like solving a lot of these like really big problems that they were facing. And then the culmination of a second injury for Mira kind of makes it so that some of the things they've been doing is forced into the light as a me. And it seems like Marimo is trying to kind of give them an out because she's losing confidence that they're going to be able to complete the program, or that they'll just die, you know, too quickly and not make a big enough of a difference to warrant the sacrifice. So Marimo might be in her way trying to save them, but Asumi is determined not to let it happen. And we had a really like intense like confrontation where Marimo was effectively trying to force Asumi to give up and force her to just like resign and just decide it's not worth it anymore. And it got real emotional and intense, and it was heavy, but it was good. One thing that's really cool is something that got shared with me by from a comment in the last video. So if you look in the comments section there, you should be able to find the message. I liked it, so it'll be near the top, even if this is a ways in the future from the time of publishing this. But somebody said like, hey, so one of the creators of Muv-Luv actually tweeted your video, and I was like, are you serious? I was like, no. I was like, can you show me? I don't have a notification or anything, because he didn't. That's the thing, is he didn't tag me directly on Twitter, so I didn't get like any heads up about it. And so the guy's like, yeah, here's the link and here's the translation. And the translation was effectively saying that, because if you guys have been paying attention to the Muv-Luv stuff, the Muv-Luv team have a running kind of effectively what I've been doing is gameplay with audio being read out and then commented by a couple readers. I think it's actually voice actors from the Japanese voice actors who are doing it, but I'm not 100% sure because again, it's all in Japanese, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I guess I'm kind of on pace with them right now with where they are in Photonflowers. And I guess he said it was interesting because he said it was really interesting to, like, when we got to that intense part, he said it was really funny to watch my facial expressions, like how I was like reacting to everything. And like I go and look into it a bit more, and it turns out like he's like an executive producer of the Muv-Luv series as a whole. He works for ages and like has worked with them for a long time. And to know that somebody in Japan who made this game and like the other games that I've really fallen in love with had actually watched my video, enjoyed it enough, and shared it, regardless of the reasoning for it. Like, cause like I said, like I'm guessing he didn't know how to like what I was saying or following like the English side of things. But just by like knowing what was going on in the story and seeing my facial expressions, he was able to be involved with it, and he enjoyed it enough that he shared it on his personal media. Like, that's so cool to me. It's like, it's one of those moments where I'm just like, holy crap. Like, I'm like nobody. Why did I get picked for you to be like interested in following my stuff? Like, granted, like maybe he's been sharing other videos too, you know, like Echo 6 went through these games, I think. I'm not sure how far, because like the thing is, like, I try and follow other creators who cover similar topics as me, but I also don't watch any of their stuff because like they often are covering games I haven't covered yet, and I don't want to like spoil myself. So I have no clue if he got through this part or not. I believe he's actually in Photon Melodies already, which is awesome for him. Like, a little jealous, but hey, I mean, he's making content faster than I am. He gets to be able to make it faster. But anyway, go check him out if you want to go see that before I can get to it. But it makes me, I'm very humbled and honored that I've been getting noticed by the Muv-Luv team. Like, I know they've reached out to me, they've talked to me about making this content. And it's just humbling to see that even like staff from like Ages and like the Muv-Luv teams at all, especially if they don't understand English, are still finding my videos and finding them entertaining. That's so cool. So yeah, I might try and put a link in the description of this video. I'm really tired right now. It's much later than I normally record, and I'm probably going to be tired tomorrow when I'm trying to publish this video, and I've got a lot of other stuff I'm going to have to do. So this video I know is coming out late because that's just the way it's going to be. And you know, it's just one of those things where like life kind of got crazy, but that's okay. But for now, we will press forward, and it's time for us to do so. So let's get back to the recovery of the fight against Marimo. But it looks like we might be doing another type of time skip. So let's see what happens. Be still my heart. Let's see how this goes, because we know how Asumi's story ends. So I'm wondering what's going to happen to this squad, you know? It wasn't long till we advanced from learning basic TSF operation to tactical squad maneuvers. Finally, moving on to actual TSF combat did wonders for our morale. By focusing on what really mattered, we could forget about the abuse Instructor Jinguji lays on us daily. The prospect of attending lectures didn't exactly fill us with joy, but it was a small price to pay.
こうしてロケットモーターによって排出された完成ユニットは砲上展開したエアクッションに包まれて着陸することになる。
Yeah, the inflation technology is actually what we use for a lot of spacecraft, especially going to Mars, but it's really effective on Mars because the cushions, the gravity is so much lower that cushioning is much more practical. I imagine that falling to the ground in a rocket, after doing a rocket ejection on giant airbags, if they deployed properly, is still horrendously uncomfortable and could be lethal if you aren't strapped in.
貴様らはシミュレーター演習では経験済みだが、いずれ実機でもベイルアウトの実習を行うことになる。
Yeah. And then you have to pray that you're lucky enough you can actually get away from the beta.
だが気を抜くなよ。訓練だと思って舐めてるとここで死ぬことになるぞ。実際、毎年何人かがこの訓練で命を落としたり重傷を負ってるんだ。
Yep, it's serious stuff. Gulp.
いいか、よく覚えておけ。ベイルアウト装置は兵士の命を救うものじゃないってことをな。
Yeah, it just takes your chances from 0 to 3% chance of survival.
ベイルアウトが必要な状況になってる段階でほとんど終わってんだよ。その兵士の人生は。機体ごと食い殺されるっていう絶対死ぬ状況を生身で食い殺されるに変える程度に考えとけよ。生きて逃げられるかどうかはまた別の話だ。
Yeah.
だから優しくそっと地上に下ろしてくれるなんてサービスを期待するな。一回だけチャンスやるからもがいてみろって程度の安全性しか考慮されちゃいねえんだ。
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that the horror of having to eject? You get the rocket, your adrenaline be pumping, you land, it's probably a really uncomfortable land, you might have broken something, and then you have to get out of the pod, finagle your way at orienting however you end up landing, and then you have maybe 30 seconds to decide how to try and not die.
まあ、砲好きどもがひしめく実際の戦場でベイルアウトなんて絶対やりたくないもんだ。ほとんどの兵士がパニクって機体にとどまり、そのまま異生生物のクソになる。
Dang. Can you imagine that? Being too scared to even eject?
というわけで、実機でのベイルアウト訓練は合理的に一人一回コッキーだ。じっくり味わっとけ。
Dude, so considering the fact that most of you probably would be too scared to bail out, why don't you practice now?
じゃあ、 ここまでで何か質問はあるか？よし、貴様。
は、ベールアウトの際に注意すべき危険性についてなのですが。
Yeah. What happened that night became a hot topic of conversation among all cadets. Of course, most of the rumors going around were either incorrect or misleading, which is not all that surprising. The event was well suited for embellishment. The fact that I endured the instructor's torture without selling out Carino or anyone else was blowing up way out of proportion. But the way the story's being told, I might as well have been David fighting Goliath without a slingshot. But that was bound to happen. People don't care about the truth. All they want is some reprieve from their daily lives. Anyway, I don't intend to judge my fellow cadets. Not really. All that matters to me is that I can use the exaggerated story to my advantage. To put it simply, those fanciful rumors had restored my tarnished reputation. They're not doing me any harm, so it's best to leave them be. They'll keep people amused, and I know my 15 minutes of fame will end soon enough. When one of the problem kids does something that could be considered slightly decent, everyone ends up talking about it. Turning this logic around, it's natural I was thrust into the spotlight with me being a model cadet. I'm cool-headed and straight-laced to a fault. My reputation as a teacher's pet was broken when I rebelled against Instructor Jinguji and didn't sell out Carino. Somehow, the incident seemed to have forced the other cadets to reevaluate their impression of me. I can't help but wonder. Even though the black market route was taken care of, people are bound to draw their own conclusions from the fact several cadets were made to change vocations in short order. At any rate, I do realize there's an evident self-interest behind their admiration of me. I wasn't born yesterday. Honestly, I couldn't care less if they put me on a pedestal. And that's good, because this probably is very temporary.
ということだ。では他に。よし、三浦。
助教殿はベイルアウトの経験はありますか？
ありがたいことに一度もなかった。だがな、そういう連中を救助したことなら何度かあるぞ。
助教殿、工学のためにその貴重な実践経験をぜひ。
Why are you saluting?
まあ無関係じゃねえしな。いいだろう。きっちり聞いとけよ。質問は適宜していい。
Ooh.
はい、助教殿。
Darn, Fujisawa's game is as sharp as ever. She knew exactly where to prod assistant instructor Narasawa with him being famous for how talkative he is. I have to agree with Fujisawa that his lectures are decidedly boring, but skipping one is not ideal. Although doing it just this once shouldn't be a big deal. We'll probably learn something more useful by listening to his combat stories anyway.
さっきも言ったが、ベイルアウトってのは相当危険なんだ。この目でいろんなパターンの悲劇を見てる俺が言うんだから間違いない。
One of the other things too is like you've got to make sure you have clearance, but in a panic you're not going to be thinking about that. Cave entrance obviously is a pretty big one of like, oh that's a great way, like you eject and you smash yourself into the wall, you know, game over. But also with beta or crawling all over you, your angle could be pretty off. Like if you're starting to fall over, like you might still like launch yourself effectively into like a rock or a tree and just boom, you're dead. Or heck, you could be underneath a fortress class. That would be a horrible way to go. Because even if you manage to survive, you know you're screwed.
エアクションが展開せずに地表と激突するとか、遊軍機に衝突して共倒れとか、もう日常だから。
The killing a friendly, that's the worst.
エアクッションの整理不良はともかく、射出時の衝突回避装置も故障してたってことでしょうか。
深く考えねえバカが勝手に切っちまうんだよ。密集体系でそれがオンだとベイルアウトできねえもんだから整備に手を回して細工しちまうんだ。
Oh, okay. So like to try and keep you from killing other people on accident, they used to make it so that it wouldn't work if you're too close, and then they turned the safety off because you know that makes so much sense.
なるほど。頭いいじゃんそいつ。
バカ野郎藤沢てめえ事故るっつってんだろ。まあ現行機はもうその手の改造ができないように設計変更されてるからやろうとしても無駄だぞ。
Right.
別にやろうとしてませんから。
Oh, sure.
まあいい。そんな身勝手なバカよりはパニックって脱出しないまま食われるやつの方が他人を巻き添えにしない分100倍増しだ。
That's true.
機内に立てこもるケースはかなり多いと聞きますが、やはり脱出後にベータと遭遇することが嫌でそうなってしまうのでしょうか。
Maybe, but it also could be an odd situation. Again, like if you're like inside a structure or something, ejecting is just not an option.
貴様らも前線に出れば嫌でも一度は見るはずだ。 脱出した後にほおずき野郎にたかられてバラバラにされたり、生きながら食われる戦友の死に様をな。
I think the game's good at painting the horror of the beta, but I do think that the anime can do a much better job. I'm looking forward to, although I'm gonna have to be like brace yourself for like the anime of Alternative that's supposed to be coming out soon. But if you want a good taste of it, like I didn't watch much of Total Eclipse because I'm hoping to be able to play the visual novel, but I almost do recommend anybody who's gotten to the point where you understand what the beta are. So maybe like once you've gotten to like the first half of Alternative, you should watch the first 2 episodes of Total Eclipse, the anime. I've heard the rest of the anime is kind of meh anyway, so I didn't watch any more of it, but I did hear that it had some, like the intro episodes were interesting, and they are. They do a fantastic job of showing the beta attack. And it's even more impactful if you can get an unedited one, because it's like, I mean, I had like I have all the like the restrictions off, of course, I can watch like whatever I want, but even that, the version that's on Crunchyroll is actually blurred. Like they have like you know, have light beams for some types of, you know, obscuring. They had blackness, like inky extra shadows. And I was like, this scene looks really, really weird. Like, it just looked odd to me. And so I did some digging and found out, oh, no, yeah, they were censoring it because it's horrifically graphic. And that's a big part of it.
あんなもん見ちまったら普通は無理だ。催眠暗示でやっとこさ。下手したらそれでトラウマ増幅されて大パニックだよ。
Yeah.
親切心で忠告しとくが、もし誰かがそうなったら、36ミリで楽にしてやるが、音声を遮断しろよ。
Oh, gosh.
ほおずき野郎の咀嚼音や、生きながら食われる戦友の絶叫や懇願は、画像より深く刺さるからな。
Yeah, oh. Fetch, man, fetch. Good grief.
あと悲惨なのな。あれだよ。パニックって外ヘル忘れるやつな。
The X helm?
外ヘルって、もしかして、被害作業用の簡易機密ヘルメットのことでしょうか？
Why? Is that maybe because of like the heavy metals that they fire into the air to like scatter lasers?
おう、ミュラー、貴様よく勉強してるな。ベイルアウト実習の前に教わるが、重金属運が発生している戦域で外ヘルなしに脱出したら別の意味で地獄だぞ。
Yeah, because it's like that would be like lead and mercury and other things like that. So like that would like, I don't know, like those things are kind of like they slowly shut down your nervous system and like fry your brain. But with that much in the air, I wonder what would happen to a human.
金属粉塵を吸い込んで窒息したりするのはまだ楽な方で、仮に戦域から生還しても重金属中毒や多臓器障害で苦しみにのたうちながら死ぬことになるからな。
That's how freaking crazy these wars are. Even in the most optimal situations, we're poisoning the entire area for probably next like 100 years with heavy metals just to try and have a reasonable chance to fight. Like, how desperate is it? It's so insane.
脱出すら簡単にはできないのか。
だから言ったろ、勘違いするなって。0を1にする以上の意味はないんだよ。脱出後に味方の戦術機に踏み潰されるやつだって5万といるんだぞ。
Oh, I bet that happened a lot.
追加の支援砲撃や味方の射撃、破片、粉塵爆発。脱出した兵士を木っ端みじんに吹き飛ばす要素なんて戦域にはありふれてるんだよ。
We're just too fragile to fight the beta.
じゃあ助教殿、一番生存率が高い脱出方法は何ですか？
Being a civilian.
やっぱあれだな。ベイルアウト直後に完成ブロックごと回収されることだろうな。この場合、機体の全データや完成ブロックそのものを再利用できる点で整備の連中に喜ばれ、会計の連中に言われる嫌味が少なくなる。
So picking up the whole control like block. But the problem is that's such a heavy load. In a combat scenario, that's very unlikely to be a good option.
生き残ったのに嫌味って。それだけ最前線と後方の価値観と雰囲気が違うってことでしょ？
Well, the people in the rear, like, sure, I'm sure they feel bad if they actually thought about it, but they have so many problems that they're facing, like supply, fetch. I mean, I can't imagine trying to keep all these things like maintenance with such little resources.
一番厄介なのがベイルアウトしたくてもできないってケースな。兵士の負傷や気絶、装置の故障や何らかの原因で機体やフレームが歪んじまうパターンだ。この場合原則救助だが、それは建前で基本は戦況が安定するまでは放置される。搭乗者に意識がある場合、音声オフにしとかねえとこれまた最悪だぞ。
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I imagine one of the worst, like, if you're stuck, just turn off your comms.
戦況が安定しなかったらどうするんですか？
You're gonna die.
安定しようがしまいが、どのみち 100% 見捨てられると思っとけ。だいたい戦況の安定までに食われちまう場合がほとんどだからな。もし貴様らがその状況に陥ったら、絶対救助を待たず、即座に強化外骨格を起動してパワーアウトしろ。そのまま食われるよりはマシだ。
Long story short, there are no good options.
仮に状況の安定まで格座機体が健在だったとして、救助はどのような形で行われますか？
詳しくはベールアウト実習の前に教えるが、基本は2機で保持して機体ごと後方まで搬送だな。
Okay.
実際の救出作業は安全な場所や基地でやることになる。そうじゃないと二次被害でより多くの機体と兵士を失う可能性があるからな。一番勘弁してほしいのが、何らかの理由で即時その場で救出しなきゃならないケースだ。
Wait, why do you hate that the most?
多くの場合が兵士は意識不明、データリンク不通、機体の歪みなしってパターン。その場で救出しなきゃならない理由は様々だな。
Okay, okay.
データリンクが生きてりゃ指揮官機の強制介入コードで遠隔操作するが、そうじゃない場合は誰かが機体まで行って管制ブロックを手動解放しなきゃならん。
Oh, man. So you have to, like, that's so risky.
俺も戦闘中に2度ばかりそれをやったことがあるが、あれは生きた心地がしねえ。今思い出しても油汗が出るんだ。
But, oh my gosh, it's kind of a foreshadowing of what Asumi does with the Susano. Like she has to, like, do the whole, like, manually get out of her TSF, go climb into the Susano to go and fix it. Like, that's like the Susano was a much more extreme and crazy version of that.
けどな、それでもその時は喜んでいくんだよ。戦場で救出命令が下るなんてめったにないが、その時は誰もが生身を戦場にさらすことを躊躇しねえもんなんだ。
Yeah, I bet that feels good. Such a heavy conversation.
今は実感湧かねえかもしれないが、貴様たちも戦場に行けばわかる。
Right.
隣で戦ってきた戦友を死なせたくねえって気持ちは、死の恐怖より強えんだってな。
Really? Oh no. Oh, we're back in the bath again? Every time!
いやー、しっかしさ、今日の模範演習はすごかったな。当たり前のことだけどさ、シミュレーターと実際に目で見るのじゃ迫力から何から大違いだったな。そうですね。しかも教官同士の対人類戦演習だけに軌道やテクニックも見どころ満載でしたし。
対人戦技能はベータ戦でほとんど役に立たないっていう例の話。あれを見ると嘘だとしか思えないわね。
Yeah, I mean, teaching basic maneuvers is pretty important, but but the problem is that if you get too used to fighting TSFs, beta are very different, and you really can't approach the two the same way. But the movements are so similar, it makes sense to be doing the practice.
そうだよな。正直すごすぎだよ、教官たちの操縦テクニック。なんかもう戦術機が機械っていうより生き物みたいでしたよね。
Makes you wonder what Takaru must be like to watch, like writing his TSF, since he does it so like naturally compared to even like the instructors.
そうね。人間以上の動きができるっていう言葉、本当なんだって納得させられたわ。
あれに比べれば私らの軌道なんてコマ送りみたいなもんよ、コマ送り。そうですね。私があのレベルまで行くには一体どのくらいかかるのかわかりませんけど。
You gotta try though.
あれは実戦で鍛え上げられたものだから、今の私たちと比較する意味なんてないわよ。
いすみさん。そうだよ。 少し休んだおかげで体力もついてきたんだし、もともと基礎訓練には合格してるんだから自信持っていこう。
Oh, that's good.
はい、そうですね。
Has she been able to keep up?
やっぱり神宮寺が逃げ回って生き残ったって噂、あれは嘘ね。あの腕はそんなことしてたら磨かれないわ。
Hey, Fujisawa actually has something like not only kind of like on point and kind, but actually like very right. Like no way you could like running away would teach you that good.
それはどうだかわからないけど、腕が立つのは確かだと思う。でも凄腕揃いの教官たちの中でも別格だって私にもわかるくらいですからね。まあ演習と実践は別物だからね。実際のところはわからないんだけど。
Takamiya is really like it's interesting because I always thought Fujisawa thought the least of Marimo, but Takamiya actually thinks the worst of her, which is really interesting. Fujisawa praised instructor Jinguji. Now isn't this a rare turn of events?
っていうことはさ、あのくらいの腕なら生きて帰れるってことなんだよね。
I mean, again, she's got a great point.
一概にそうとは言い切れないと思うけど、一つの指標ではあるわね。
だよね。だったらああなればいいんだよ。何でもそうだけど、具体的な目標がイメージできるのってすごくいいことだよ。
確かにそうね。前に話した関連付けと同じで、漠然とやるのと目標を定めるのでは効果が違うわ。
Right.
何よ、急に塞ぎ込んで。
別に塞ぎ込んでなんてないわよ。ただなんとなく韮沢の話を思い出してさ。
Oh, the reality of the situation, huh?
戦場で救出命令が下るなんてめったにないが、その時は誰もが生身を戦場にさらすことを躊躇しねえもんなんだ。今は実感湧かねえかもしれないが、貴様たちも戦場に行けばわかる。隣で戦ってきた戦友を死なせたくねえって気持ちは死の恐怖より強えんだってな。
Dang.
あれか。あれはいい話だったよね。別に実感湧かないなんてことないし。私なんかジーンときちゃって。韮沢助教が急にいい人に見えましたよ。三浦黒いね。
A little harsh.
で、韮沢助教のあの話がどうかしたの？
あれ聞いて演習見てたらさ、なんか神宮寺も韮沢みたいに戦友助けたりしたのかなって思って。
Mm-hmm.
それは当然一度や二度はあるでしょうね。
Right.
神宮寺教官は韮沢助教より多くの戦歴があるんだし。
そうなんだよね。なんか今更なんだけどさ、神宮寺も戦場でいろんな経験してきた人なんだなって
One thing's interesting too is
初めて直接的にイメージできたんだよね。
sorry, Fujisawa. Another thing that's really interesting to think about is Marimo's first battle. If you remember, like she was the only survivor. She had to get rescued, so she was rescued like that really improbable situation. It's really fascinating that she was able to get rescued at all.
なんかわかります。私も同じこと考えながら演習見てました。生き残るっていうことはさ、それだけ多くの戦友を見送ったってことじゃない？死神なんて呼ばれてさ、どういう気持ちだったのかなってね。
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So like they're saying her name is Death, but her nickname is really Shinigami, which is like a god of death. It may look like we started seeing Instructor Jinguji in a different light thanks to Narasawa's lectures or today's demonstration, but that's not actually the case. In fact, everything began to change for us right after she put me through the ringer. But I wonder, just what exactly made Fujisawa view her in a different light?
まあ戦場で私がそんなことになっても誰も助けちゃくれないと思うけどね。
What? What are we, chop liver? Of course we're gonna come rescue you.
そんなことないよ藤沢。あんた何言ってるの？助けるに決まってるよ。
Okay, I will also be the first to admit that if the situation is not prudent for it, no, we're not going to rescue you. But I think it's because you would probably understand that, like, if us trying to rescue you meant we would die, you wouldn't want us to. Like, maybe a core part of you, the survival part of you, the panicking part of you would, but the rational, caring, loving part of you would not. I know that for a fact.
あれ
Yeah, no, what are you talking about? I'd come to rescue you and I'd have to jump through a universe. Like, come on, you guys are cool.
私は絶対助けるよ。命令がなくても原則救助なんだから違反じゃないし。あ、はい。そうですよ、月子さん。私も助けます。だから。
Oh, dang it, curse you hand.
その子。
Fujisawa, come on, we got your back.
月子さん。
Ah, see, nice hug. Screen's gone black. I wonder if it's censored or if I'm gonna have to censor it. Like, sometimes the black screen precedes a great CG, but also this is the Steam version, so it might just be blocking a CG. Nope. Nope. Nope.
本当にその子はいい子だな。お姉さんは嬉しいよ。
No, YouTube, no! Oh, no. Oh. Gosh darn it, YouTube.
もう月子さん、どこ触ってんですか。やめてくださいよ。
Please be kind to me, YouTube gods. Why?
おお、相変わらずいい手触りじゃのう。小さくてもぎゅっと中身が詰まっておるわい。
And this picture would normally be a little bit better. I can see there's some helpful steam that has been playing a part here too.
月子さん、やめてください。もみもみしないで。
Oh boy.
あれ、なんか微妙に成長しておるぞ。けなげじゃのう。けなげじゃて。
Ah, jeez.
もう、月子さん、もう、堪忍してください。
Like, can't help, sorry, but I'm actually like, bottom right corner, I'm like, hello. Hello, the two of you. Probably my favorite characters right over there.
あれ、その子、口では嫌と言いながら、なんだ、この硬くなってきた先っちょは。
Oh. I both love it, but I know what this is gonna do for me. Good grief.
恥ずかしいです。なんで私だけなんですか。竹宮さんだって助けるって。
This is definitely coming out late.
あれはダメよ。多分腕ひしぎ逆十字とかで秒殺されるから。それじゃあ猪木だよ。じゃあいすみさんは。
You're like, no.
ああ、いすみは助けるって言わなかったからやってやんない。
Oh gosh. Right, Fujisawa stopped calling me dear leader. That was another of the many weird things that happened since that day.
別にやってほしいなんて言ってないけど。
だいたいいすみのは大きいだけで全然ダメ。全くなってない。形ばかりで中身が追っついてないところが持ち主にそっくり。
That's uncalled for.
神宮寺のヤジ、パクってるし。触ったこともないくせに。ひどい言われようだわ。
Oh, is that a challenge?
何言ってんだあいつ。私この前触りまくったもん。
Hmm. Everyone's surprised at that.
この前って、いつの
この前って。あんたまさか。
Wait, in the shower? Oh, I remember now.
私たちね、その子が医務室で休んでる間に3人でヌルヌルしたの。ヌル。いすみはね、普段お高く止まってるくせに、私のヌルヌルハンドで背中からあのデカ胸をもみしだいてやったら、涙を流して叫びまくってたわよ。
What is this conversation? Mira. Ooh, I'm sensing a little bit of jealousy.
だからその子も泣き叫ばせてあげる。ほら、ええのんか、ええのんか。
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's
あ
over.
んた、あれ、訂正しなくていいの？いいんじゃない？断片的には合ってるから。細かいことはどうでもいいわ。いすみ。
Like, shush. Oh. What is this?
ギトラ。
Okay. Almost 2 weeks have passed without incident since that fateful day. However, many things have changed. The most notorious change has been the distinct improvement of Fujisawa and Miura's morale. Miura has seen her own physical strength and endurance improve slowly but surely since she stopped eating black market rations. Maybe there was some real credence to that then. Her being confined to the medical office for several days seems to have been enough to figure out what was wrong with her body. But that can't possibly be the whole story. There must be other factors involved in all of this. I'm sure of it. A normal blood test or tissue samples wouldn't have shown that anything out of the ordinary. My guess is the doctors knew what they were looking for in advance, and the test provided confirmation. Otherwise, how could they have found the cause of her condition in such a short time? No point in dwelling on it further, though, if there's no consequences for us, at least for the time being. Well, they can't just toss aside trained soldiers very well. I think Marimo was trying to hopefully spare them, combat, by kind of making it forceful, but I'm sure that her higher-ups probably would have been very upset at her for doing that. As for Fujisawa, ever since the contraband route was dismantled, she seemed to have cut all business ties with Karino and the others, remaining only as friends. She has not once shown regret or openly apologized for her actions. All I know is what Takamiya has heard from the other cadets. In fact, what she did for Miura had an adverse effect. The fact that what she did for Miura had adverse effects must have been a wake-up call. And in the end, it helped bring us all together. She has changed so much. But what's more striking is how much Fujisawa seems to look up to Instructor Jinguji now, whereas she couldn't stand her before. As for Takamiya, I wouldn't necessarily say she's any different from before, but, well, she...
Isumi, 起きてるの?
She what? Aww, so cute!
起きてたの?
Takamiya, she's not perfect, but she's adorable.
なんか寝つけなくてさ。
あれだけ睡眠を重視してるのに、らしくないわね。
Hang on. I don't know if this will be a thumbnail or not, but it's a thumbnail in my heart. This is a very sweet picture.
そうだね。でも、寝ようとすればするほど、いろいろ考えちゃってさ。
Yeah?
いよいよ重症ね。どうしたのよ。何かあったの？
なんていうか、今日のニラサワの話、あれでさ。
Yeah.
あの話がどうかしたの？
なんかね、なんていうか。
ごめん。何も考えないで聞いてた。無理に話す必要ないわ。
いいの。私こそごめん。話聞いてもらっても
Yeah.
いい？
私は構わないけど。
ニラサワがさ、命令があれば 喜んで戦友を助けに行くって言ってたでしょ。
Oh. So maybe you'd want to, but you're worried that in the moment you might not. Like in the moment, the fear and the stress might not. Like maybe she's worried that it'll be overwhelming for her.
あれってさ、一見いい話なんだけど、なんかきついんだよね。
And maybe the rough part is the fact that like it means that there were times where he was told not to save his squad mates, or that he just couldn't.
どういうこと？
軍機では原則救助なのに、命令が出なきゃ助けられないって。戦線では見捨てるのが普通だってことじゃない？軍機を勝手に曲げてるのに、それが当然になるってことは、前線司令部も国防省もそれを認めてるってことだよね。
I think this is a manifestation of another thing. It's kind of one of those issues of like, it's a really strong philosophy, I think, of just keeping yourself sane, just choosing your battles. The regulations are there for a reason, and it'd be best if everyone followed them. But understanding the fact that if you crack down on every single breach, you're just going to be exhausting yourself and the system. So you crack down when necessary, and turn a blind eye, but be aware of problems as much as you can. But like it's all about like timing and making sure that the most egregious things are dealt with swiftly, and letting the smaller stuff slide as long as it's like not too bad, because you want to make sure that you've got your energy and stuff. Like they can't be throwing people out of the military all the time because they need them all. So like they have to be selective on what they punish. But at the same time, you also need people who can take and listen to orders. So you have to have that fear of breaking the rules built into people. It's an odd thing to be doing.
多分、そういうことなんでしょうね。
それが現実だってことは分かってるし、戦場に綺麗事はないってことは理解はできてるんだけど。じゃあなんでそうやって生き残ってきた神宮寺は藤沢の行為を責めることができるんだろう。
If only you guys knew. If only you knew.
建前とか原則論はわかるんだけど、私の中に処理できない気持ちがたくさんあってさ、そういうの納得しちゃうと、なんか根本的な何かが崩れちゃいそうで。
Yeah, I get that.
やっぱり神宮寺は正しいのかな。
But that hurt to say.
泉はさ、ほら最初から神宮寺ラブなの見え見えだったから何も気にならないんだけど。
ラブって、まあいいけど。
なんか三浦も正体のみんなも、特に藤沢はあんなに反発してたのに、結局神宮寺を認めちゃうんだってさ。
Yeah, sometimes the best teachers are the ones that frustrate you the most at first. Because they're the ones that are trying really hard to teach you.
神宮寺のやってることの全てが正しいわけじゃないって、今でも私は思ってる。でもさ、そういう現実はわかるんだけど、理想とかそういうのを誰も口にしなくなったら人間じゃないっていうか。
竹宮。
でも韮沢の話を聞くと、当たり前なんだけど神宮寺も本当は私たちと同じなんだろうなって思えちゃって。
I don't know. I have to admit, I think she had a lot more drive than any of you.
ということはだよ。私もいつかあんな風になっちゃうのかなとか。本当は私そんなの認めたくない。神宮寺は絶対違うって思いたい。でもね、この前 藤沢に言われたこと考えると、なんかもう、わからなくなっちゃってさ。
Wait, what did Fujisawa say?
あんたさ、自分の存在に疑問持ったことなんて
Oh,
一度もないでしょ。
yeah, once she freaking got called out.
それ以前にさ、挫折なんて経験したことすらないでしょ。あんたみたいな幸せなやつだけじゃないんだよ、この世に生きてるのは。あんたみたいにみんなに好かれる性格になれなかったやつはね、どっか切り捨てて折り合いつけなきゃ生きていけないんだよ。そんな綺麗な生き様私たちに押し付けてさ、あんた最後まで責任取る覚悟あんの？
Man, I forgot about that. Fetch! So intense. I understand how she feels. Looking at things from the standpoint of our social norms and moral values, Takumi is right. However, we're in an environment where disregarding such standards can be necessary. To make things worse, the people who strive to live according to those peacetime norms are treated as undesirables. I understand her pain all too well. It's a difficult task to advocate for your own sense of justice and stick with those ideals. It brings nothing but the pain to the most normal people. And truth is, our values are not set in stone. Never have they been. I can feel hopeless at first, but one must learn to adapt.
ねえ、竹宮。一つ聞いていい？
何？
なんであんたは、そこまで神宮寺教官を否定したがるの？中立的な視点で、横暴に翻弄される弱者の救済、あるいは、機械の再配分を主張する立場。あんたのスタンスを、私はそう受け取っていた。でも、最近になってやっと気づいたのよ。あんたは違うんだって。あんたが言う通り、周りが共感を受け入れ始めて、やっとその違いが分かったの。
そっか。
So, what's the secret here?
なんか、ほっとしたな。前に、さ、みんなで志願の理由、話したの覚えてる？
Right.
覚えてる。
あの時の話は本当なんだけど、一つだけ言わなかったことがあるんだ。ごめん、嘘ついた。言えなかったが正解だな。
What was that?
私が全員合格にこだわる一番大きな理由はね、復讐みたいなものなの。
Okay.
復讐って、
Oh.
教官に？
Was Marimo fighting in defense of her homeland? Like, did she somehow push the burden of like the loss of her her family's like livelihood and home on Jinguji because she saw her as someone who must have run to survive and thus abandoned like their home?
それ自体はすっごい後付けなんだけど、そういうことなんだよ。
Why would Takamiya want to take revenge on instructor Jinguji?
実は、私の地元の幼馴染が、大陸で神宮寺と同じ部隊にいたの。
Oh my gosh! Instructor Jinguji fought in the Continental Campaign before the Military Service Act was amended. Takamiya's childhood friend must be older than her. Wait, could this be related to why people call her Death? Now all the pieces have fallen into place. Her outburst from the other day finally makes sense. She blames the death of her old friend, family friend or whatever, on Jinguji, Marimo.
違う。絶対違うよ。いすみは神宮寺と同じじゃない。ダメだよ、いすみ。あの人は、あんたが考えてるような人じゃない。
Interesting.
あの人は大陸で大勢の味方を、弱者を切り捨てることで生き残ってきた人なんだよ。信用とか愛情じゃなく、計算で私たちに接してるんだよ。
竹宮。
There's no way they were just friends. He must have been very close to her. Possibly lovers even. Dang, though, she must have been young.
神宮寺のことは、たまに手紙に書いてあった。凄腕だけど冷酷で、誰とも仲良くしない英士だって。 弱って孤立したり、逃げ遅れた戦友や部下を作戦のために平気で見捨てられる人だって。検閲逃れのために全然違う褒めるような書き方だったけど、私たちしかわからない言い回しが入っていて、それで逆の意味だってわかったんだ。
Are you sure about that? But maybe.
その頃、兵役法の改正が近かったから、多分その人は戦場はひどいところだから絶対志願するなって
So this was.
私に伝えたかったんだと思う。
Is she talking about? So it's implying that it's the guy that, like, Marimo would fight with and who she like fell for, because he mentioned having a girl he wrote, but that would make her really like young. Like, gosh, she must have been, because she's like 18, 19 now. They must have like it can't be more than like 3 or 4 years, right? So she would have been like 15. Fetch.
しばらくすると手紙が来なくなって、その人の実家には戦死の通知と遺品だけが送られてきたって。
But she's talking about like her like abandoning people for the sake of the mission. So maybe it wasn't him. Maybe this is a friend that was in like later in the campaign. That might make more sense. That like logistically that makes a lot more sense.
そのことは逆に大陸の戦争を私の身近にした。で、九州疎開計画が発表された時、前に話した理由で志願するって決めたんだ。
Dang.
あの人が守ろうとした人たちや故郷を代わりに私が守るために。1秒でも早く兵士になりたかったから、地元に戻らないで東京で志願したの。そうしたら神宮寺がいた。
Right.
正直最初は複雑だった。だって一人で生き残ったからってあの人が死んだことを神宮寺のせいになんてできないし、
It's interesting.
かといって何事もなかったようには思えないし。
Like there's survivor's guilt where a person survives a situation and they watch or they know people who didn't and they feel like why would they survive? This is like a different twist on that. It's like survivor's like jealousy or survivor's like anger. Like she's like, why couldn't he survive and you didn't? And like why did you survive and he didn't?
でも基礎訓練のやり方や人の切り方を見て肌で感じて確信した。神宮寺は少なくとも弱者を、
But people are so much more complicated
あ
than
の
that.
人を助けはしなかっただろうなってね。だから私、自分の分隊だけでも全員一緒に英士になるって決めたの。なんかそういう歪んだ形の復讐っていうのかな。あんたと違って絶対弱者切らないぞってさ。そうだったの。ごめんね。何の言い訳にもならない個人事情ばっかりで。
竹宮は悪くない。聞いたのはこっちだから。
Yeah.
私もいすみと同じだよ。こんなこと言ったら嫌われるかもって言わないようにしてたんだから。
いや、私はもっと打算的でもっと耳っちいわ。
もっと単純に神宮寺を恨んだり憎んだりできれば楽だったかもね。
To hate Jinguji.
確かにその方が楽だったのかもしれないな。
But you're not even talking about Jinguji, you're talking about your sister. At times like this, I'm disgusted by my own thoughtlessness. No, it's something worse than that. Tunnel vision. Takemi's actions are driven by her emotions. Even so, she's perfectly conscious of her own motivation. She can give good reasons for what she does. I think I looked down on her. Thought she was immature.
ねえ、いすみ。
What the... Oh! Hello! Hi! Hi!
ちょっと。そっち行って。いい？
Ooh! Ooh! This is gonna be fun.
あんたね、それ着てから言うこと？
Oh, but how can you say no to that face?
細かいことはいいじゃん。
よくないわよ。どうしたのよ、急に。
いやー、夜中に本音トークなんて修学旅行とか合宿の夜とか思い出せない？なんか盛り上がってきちゃってさ。
Okay, Sura.
あのね。
Let's not go crazy here. I think I see what Takumi is doing. She's trying to hide how embarrassed she feels. Probably. Like drawing a line in the sand to see how far she can take things with me. She must know what's the limit by now, though. I'm not sure what she wants to accomplish.
ねえねえ、いすみはさ、ぶっちゃけ私のことどう思ってた？
To be fair, it's not like they've had chances to really be honest about things with each other, but come on, Sumi, don't be an idiot like I used to be. I could have people boldly flirting with me, and I would just miss it. Completely just miss it.
何よ、急に。
This is really adorable.
だから本音トークだよ、本音トーク。
And all cards are on the table.
ねえねえ、苦手だった？それとも嫌いだった？
Interesting. Weird. A couple days ago, I would have rejected her rather strongly at that. And now, this is the first time I felt at ease this much. Takemiya isn't one of my relatives. Maybe that's why? I don't know her anything. What I say or do for Takemiya comes out of my own free will, unlike with my sisters, where I have a duty to go above and beyond because they're family.
仕方ないな。じゃあ、私からね。
Huh?
おう。
No, Sumi's having some very serious thoughts here.
私はね、初めて会った瞬間、不幸を背負っためんどくさそうな子だなって思った。
当たってる。
Oh, that was a cute little giggle.
なんかいっつも好きないし、常にみんなを観察して分析してるし、すごくプレッシャー感じてたな。
ほんと。よく見てるわね。さすがよ、あんたは。
おまけに神宮寺ラブなのは分かってたから。どうしたものかな。
Oh, this always happens. Why do I always fall for the girls who like girls? It happened in high school so many times. It was like I was a homing beacon for people who were homosexual rather than heterosexual. Because if I was attracted to them for some reason, it's just how like 50% of the time that's how it happened. Not that I was like upset at it or anything. It was fine. It's just funny how it happened like 3 or 4 times while I was in high school.
あんたの目標を達成するためにどうやって使おうかって？
And I liked her from the beginning.
それも当然あるけど、それだけじゃないよ。
Uh-huh.
何よ。別にそういうのって普通でしょ？
鈍感だな。っていうか、いすみの場合、自信がないからそうなっちゃうんだっけ？
It is really interesting. Asumi sees like she's so confident in like some things, the stuff that's more social, like the way she carries herself, her aptitude, her physical capabilities. But when it comes to emotional stuff, she's a wreck.
悪かったわね。根拠のない善意が私に向くことが信じられないだけよ。
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
じゃあ仕方ないな。最後の手段だ。
I fetch a call
味
that.
の書きついでに。隠れ。
Oh darn it! Click to get. Dang it! Curses.
私は、
Yeah,
い
yeah,
すみが
yeah.
好き。
God, you're so lucky, Asumi.
い
Huh?
や、変な意味じゃなくて、
Oh darn it! I was excited.
私さ、いすみみたいに何でもできちゃう人、すごく憧れちゃうんだ。
Oh man! Oh, I thought we were gonna have some like really, really nice like moment here. Takemiya, she thinks I'm amazing?
でもさ、藤沢の言葉じゃないけど、 あんたみたいに何でもできちゃう天才って多分わかんないと思うんだよね。思ったようにパッとできない人間が抱える悔しさとかネガティブになっちゃう気持ちって。だからね、私がいすみとあの子たちをつなぐ役をやればいいのかなって。そうすれば文体がうまく回るのかなってさ。
Again, I see a lot of myself in Takamiya. Like, I was so much, and still am, a mediator. I've been called a peacekeeper, somebody who I really try, and I feel like being a bridge builder, somebody who helps people understand when there's gaps, trying to help smooth things over. That's something I desperately try to do. It's an instinct I have. Even if I've not been the best at it and messed up several times, it's like, it is a part of who I am. And again, that's why, another reason why I think I like Takamiya a lot. It's like, I mean, she's cute, but I see so much of myself in her. It's really interesting. I think I've liked a lot of characters in the Muv-Luv series, but I have to admit, honestly, Takamiya is the one who I feel the most, like, direct, like, kinship to. The character is written in a way that's so similar to the way I think and see things. And she has a lot of the same flaws that I do too. Especially like this idea of like deeply harboring and hiding like the more dark thoughts, like the not positive way you see people. Like I have had people whom I've not liked at all, but I've never let it slip. In fact, I tended to spend a lot of time with those people, and they never would have guessed. They never would have guessed, because I bury those feelings so deeply.
どうして？
なんでって、憧れちゃったらさ、その人を少しでも助けてあげたいじゃん。なんて、私すごく上から目線だし。
Aww, Takamiya. Hey, that's a laugh that's covering pain. That puts everything in perspective. All those times Takamiya would piss me off by butting in before I could speak, she wasn't trying to belittle me or overstep her bounds. She did it for my sake. I despised her in those moments. I hated her guts from the bottom of my heart, and yet she was only looking out for me.
そんなの知ってたよ。違う。絶対違うよ。いすみは神宮寺と同じじゃない。いくらいすみがうまく隠しているつもりでも、私はあんたのことずっと分かってたよ。確かに似てるところはあるのかもしれない。でもいすみは弱者を切り捨てられないじゃない。全然違うよ。
She's been looking at me all this time. She doesn't know what goes through my head, and it's not like she has any good reason to hold me in such high esteem either, but somehow she still thinks I'm amazing. I don't think Takamiya's right. I really think it's the other way around.
さ、こっちはもう全部吐き出しちゃったんだから、そろそろ教えてくれたっていいでしょ？
What are you gonna say, Sumi?
そう。出会った頃から今日のこの瞬間まで。
That's cute.
あんたのそういう天然なところが嫌い。
Oh no! Fetch!
そのくせ何でもすぐにうまくやれる天才的なところはもっと嫌い。
Oh, right to the soul!
でも、私たちの利害は一致してるわ。理由はどうあれ、神宮寺教官に勝ちたいっていうのは。
Yeah.
うん。
それに
あ
とは秘密。
Oh, you can't do that!
あ
何その顔。えはい君。
Aww. Wow, we're getting the side of Asumi we don't see very often. Oh, this is adorable.
なんだよ、ずるい。けど、まあ細かいことはどうでもいいや。
お腹痛い。
That's one of the worst. When you want to laugh so hard, but you can't because you gotta stay quiet, and you're just like having like spasm attacks.
そういうのあんたらしくていいよ。それに そんな楽しそうな泉の顔初めて見れたしね。
苦しかった。ここまで私を無防備に笑わせるなんて、ほんと大したものよ。
はいはい。どうせ天然ですからね。
Oh, you're not an airhead.
ご褒美に、私のとっておきを教えてあげるわ。
Yes.
あんたはね、私の姉にそっくりなのよ。
Ooh, that's not really a compliment though. Well, it kind of is a compliment, but like maybe a bitter one.
泉の
これがまた、あんた以上の天然で、天才っていう凶悪さでね。私の目の上の単行部。コンプレックスの根源なのよ。姉が父のコネで役所に行ったから、子供っぽく反発してここに来た。神宮寺教官が言った通りの薄っぺらい女なのよ。私は。
泉。
なんかいろいろスッキリした。特に姉さんに似てるあんたに、あんな顔させたのが一番爽快だったわ。
He's so cute.
それって、今まで誰か他の人に話したことある？
Aww.
こんなみっともない話、私だけの秘密に決まってるでしょ？
私、嬉しい。
Aww.
ありがとう、泉。
Oh, Takavia, I want to give you a hug. Oh, yep. Fetch! Holy crap! YouTube, no! I love it though. Oh, I love it though. Fetch. No, yeah. Everyone's like.
やっぱりその気あるんじゃないの？
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh gosh. Hooray! Oh, several weeks later. Okay. God. Okay. I think we're gonna end it here. It feels like it's been long. Someone said though that like the next episode might be the last one. So like this could be like right from the ending. Oh, fetch. I don't know. Okay. We're gonna end it here on a really happy note. If it is close to the end, I'll roll right into the next story. Like, I can't predict these kinds of things, but like I don't want to get too caught up in something because I have a feeling like all these stories it's gonna end on a sad note. So I don't want to just jump right into that after that happy, fun ending. Oh man. I wonder how Asumi ends up feeling about that. Like, does Asumi like pursue that at all, or is that just kind of a one-time thing, or what? It's gonna be kind of awkward at breakfast the next morning. Oh man, that's gonna be so fun. Anyway, yeah, we'll stop here. If I have like 10 minutes left of this one, we'll just roll into the next. I can't predict it, but that was great. I am very happy. That was really fun, and I totally pegged it. Of course, to be fair, Takamiya might be, she could be bi. She may not just be gay, but I definitely have that luck. Oh man. I still think she's still my favorite. In lots of ways, she's my favorite. Oh, that was so fun. I'm so happy. Alternative doesn't often get me to smile so much, so I'm very good about that. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me for this fantastic episode that's probably gonna get like banned on YouTube or something. It's gonna get me in trouble someday, I know it. I'll probably throw up the coconut to maybe a peach here or there. You know, we'll see what I need to do when I'll think about it with a clear head tomorrow when I'm editing, so hopefully it'll be okay. But it was wonderful. It was great in every way. It was fun. But yep, so I guess yeah, I think we're drawing to a close here, which means we're going to be able to roll right into Photon Melodies. So that'll be exciting. Ooh. A lot of people said I got a lot to look forward to in that one, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, we're also on doing My Darling's Embrace and Steins Gate, which of course, it's like so funny because I literally said at the beginning of My Darling's Embrace that this will be the end of our Steins Gates. Like the only thing left would be Chaos Head, and you know, we'll see when I get to that kind of a thing. It was like, but this will be the end of Steins Gate, no more after this. And then of course, like the same week, they announced a brand new Steins Gate series coming out. So, well, like, it may not be exactly Steins Gate. It's in the Steins Gate universe, which I think Chaos Head is as well. But in the trailer, it actually shows Kurisu, so that'll be exciting. But we'll talk more about that on Wednesday if you're here for that episode. So hopefully to see you guys all there or in future episodes or whatever. Again, the basics, like if you want to go Discord, it's a great place to go if you want to make like recommendations for future content and chat with some of the rest of the community members. It's a fantastic place to go. I'd love to see you there. If you want to support the future of the channel, please support the Patreon. Thank you to Pat Kilo. He was the first patron. Now it's great because like a lot of channels can do like a whole scroll of patrons. I don't care. I'm just shocked I even have one. So thank you, Pat Kilo. You're awesome. You're LabMem002. If you want to support the future of the channel, by all means, please do so. I hope to eventually get to the point where I can make content more regularly, and Patreon is likely going to be a part of that in the future, but there's no reason to support me. Please don't feel obligated to. Like, this is just something I love to do, and, you know, it'd be nice to someday make it a career. And so I want to have everything in place to help that become a reality someday. But I'm just happy to be able to share this content with you, and I'm never going to stop making content as long as I find it enjoyable and fun. And I don't see that stop happening anytime soon. So thank you so much, and just want to let you know it's there. But, you know, we got so much more great stories to explore, so I hope you can stick around. Hope you can keep enjoying yourself, and probably some new titles coming up in the near future, so I'm excited to jump into that. So until the next video, watching me up, see me in next. I'll see you there.